Good morning. It's a rainy morning. I decided to come out because I heard some industrial noises. I wanted to be sure they weren't on my property, whatever they're doing over there. I hate those noises, really. Anyway, we're out here in the back part of the homestead. I got my coffee, and this is a nice little morning walk. So far, I've only seen some slugs. I scared a rabbit. I was coming over here to check out this log, even though it's been rained on. I see it had mushrooms all over it. Yep, see? Even though it rained. So, they're probably no good now. I don't know how that works. Hey, here's a pretty rock. Look at that rock. Oh, it almost looks like quartz of some kind. I don't know. Oh, isn't this interesting? Look at this. Wow. Wonder what kind of mushrooms those are. Or were. Maybe they're old. Check out this tree. This tree has mushrooms that grow all the way up. And I mean, they grow all the way up. Look at that. It's very interesting. Back in the day, I had planted 3 little plants. I planted 3 little nettle plants. And now we're gonna have we're harvesting this year. We are harvesting this weekend. Yes. Look at the nettles. Beautiful, beautiful nettles. There's violets happening over there and cleavers happening there. It's always medicine everywhere. I'm gonna head on back to the house. Wow, that was a nice morning coffee out in the woods. I saw a lot. I saw a lot of things. That was glorious. And it's nice to come out at this time before everything is so big that it makes it hard to walk. So, yes, a little footage in.
We know.
So today we're out harvesting nettles, as you can see.
Needles on the back that you have to be mindful of. Nettle holds antihistamine properties. Good for folks who are having allergic reactions.
Good, good, good. And all this started from 3 little plants. So here we are back with our fresh nettles, and they are so fragrant. They're so fragrant that it really made me want to do a little comparison. Like when we talk about you get your herbs that are cut and sifted, like look, that is literally dust in the bottom, and this has noticeably less fragrance. If you had put this under my nose and said, guess what it is, I don't know that I would have guessed nettle. It is so fragrant. I didn't know. It was my first year harvesting fresh nettles. Now these nettles I got from a smaller farm, and you can see it wasn't processed. Those are pretty big pieces. And I noticed when I was preparing for a class, and I was using these nettles, and I did notice that fragrance. And I was like, wait a minute, are these nettles? Are these nettles? Because I just had never had them outside from being really cut and sifted from this particular source, and I just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. But I noticed these had a much more distinct fragrance to them, and this is 5 times that, 5 or 10 times that. So this is just a great comparison between fresh, dried. These might be freeze dried. I'm not sure of their process. No, I don't know. And then this is definitely dried, cut, and probably sifted. So there you go, a little compare and contrast. This is gonna make some good medicine. We're gonna make some fresh nettle tincture, which I don't even have any nettle tincture on hand. I usually use nettles for tea as part of a soup. And this is just our first harvest because I know those plants are gonna boss up. We'll have another harvest, but so far, here's where we are. Okay, so we have our nettles that we harvested here. I let them wilt overnight. You don't have to do that. With certain plants, it's helpful to let a little bit of the water evaporate out of them if you're going to use it for an oil or other preparations sometimes. I just didn't get around to making my tincture last night. So, and I have here some Everclear. What you need for a tincture is your alcohol to be at least 35%. At least 35%. That is your brandies. That's usually your brandies, you know. Then you can do 80 proof, which is 40% alcohol. You can do 100 proof, which is 50% alcohol. So as you can see, it's half. The alcohol by volume number is half of what the proof is, okay? So you notice this is 151 proof and it's 75.5% alcohol. Now you can use this like it is, but it's kind of like overkill. You don't have to. There's certain extractions that, yes, you do need these high levels of alcohol, like with resins, things that are hard to dissolve, like propolis or tree sap. But in general, like I said, you need it to be at least 35%. So you can do, I mean, without getting super mathy, which I'm trying to avoid doing, you can do I like to do, you could do half and half distilled, purified water and half Everclear. Or just to be on the safe side, I do a little bit more than half with the Everclear, just to be sure I have that proof high as it needs to be. So I might do 2/3 cup alcohol to 1/3 cup water. Okay, that's just an example. Okay, so I did get my gloves back on. They are called stinging nettles for a reason. Let's see if we can see. What is that reason? Okay, nettles. Try to find one. So let me see if I can get that up close and personal enough for you to see. Oh yeah, I think you can. You see those hairs on the stem? Those same hairs are on the leaf as well. They are needles. So now I'm just going to carefully fill my jar. Another good reason to let them sit overnight is, like, if there are any bugs, they will crawl on away. Because they're not trying to be captured, you know? So we're filling this jar. We're going to kind of relatively solid pack, not too much. You don't want it to be airtight to where the alcohol can't circulate, but you do want it to be nice and full to get a nice full extraction going on. Okay, now that we got it all filled up, I'm gonna pour our Everclear. And I'm gonna fill it almost all the way with Everclear. Let's see, so that it's more, see, we really have room for more nettles in here, which I can go back and add some more. And then I'm gonna top it off with some distilled water. So I thought today I would do a nice tea time blend. I was talking to a dear one, and we were talking about how much we love the lavender vanilla Earl Grey that you can buy. I think it's called Breakfast in Paris. But she was like, I make my own. And I was like, oh, yeah, why not make our own? And I was going to put a little twist on it. I have this lovely, beautiful gift, a very special lavender that I was given. And isn't it beautiful? So I'm going to use some of that. And I have my Earl Grey. And I have some blackberries that have kind of just been sitting in the refrigerator. They're touch dried out. So I'm going to use these. I have some vanilla extract here. And I'm going to add some skullcap just because that'll be a nice afternoon focusing tea. I'm having a very intentionally relaxing and low-key day. And I think this will complement it perfectly. So over here to get things started, I'm just going to put my blackberries in this pot. Cover them with some boiling water. And let them simmer for a while. So I added a little bit of lavender, and I'm just sort of smashing these blueberries against the side of the pot to release their goodness. Look at that, it's so pretty. That's a pretty color. Oh, look at that, it's a pretty color. This is gonna be nice. And now I added my bag of Earl Grey in here. This is my last bag of Earl Grey too. So I have to get some more of that. But added my Earl Grey, gonna let that steep for a little while. Okay, now that it's ready, I'm just gonna strain it here into my cup. I have a nice big cup because I wanted a lot of this. Here we go. It smells so good. And I'm just gonna add a little splash of vanilla extract and some skullcap. Today I'm also harvesting mint. Now this is the end of April. Where I live, I get heavy insect pressure in the spring. So if I get out quick enough, I can get an early harvest before the fight starts. So we're gonna harvest this mint today. I already got a good handful. I'll probably throw it in the dehydrator. So let's see how much mint we can get. Okay, so we ended up with a really nice colander full of spearmint. We're gonna get this rinsed off, and I'll figure out how I'm gonna use it, and then I'll let y'all know. Happy spring. smells so good in here. We are loading up the dehydrator. I did let the mint wilt a couple of days, but that was just because I didn't get around to doing it. I am incorporating the stems. I mean, afterward, if I'm making a blend a tea blend or something that I don't want the stems in, I could sift them out. But right now, you know, the stems have volatile oils and flavor components too, so I'm leaving them in. I don't want to cut it too fine now because those essential oils, volatile oils, will be dissipating while it's dehydrating, you know? So I'm trying to keep it as intact as possible, but, you know, making them little smaller pieces. So we have all of our mint locked and loaded here in the dehydrator. And I have one layer of catnip too. So we'll just put that on and I'm gonna let it go for probably overnight. I'll check on it and see. So now I'm headed back outside, and I think one of the next herbs that I'll be harvesting for spring during this Beltane season will be ground ivy. Ground ivy is also known as creeping Charlie, and you may have noticed when you mow your lawn and you come across an aromatic scent and you may wonder what you rolled over. A lot of times it might be ground ivy. This beautiful plant is so good for ear, nose, and throat issues, from laryngitis to bronchitis and sinus issues and congestion. It's an expectorant. It's also high in vitamin C, and it's just beautiful. I mean, look at these little purple flowers that have this white and darker purple speckled inside of it. I mean, that is just lovely. I'll go more into detail about the medicinal properties on another video, but I want to point out this square stem, which tells us it's in the mint family. So I'm going to end here. Thank you for hanging out with me over the past few weeks, really, during Beltane season. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're getting out and gathering a few things. And I'll see you in the next video. And as always, take care.